Hello, world, and welcome to the most unexpected piece of news to hit our screens this week. The kind of news that makes you do a double take, put down your coffee, and say, "Wait, what? Run that by me one more time." A family so famous, their lives have played out like a decades-long documentary series. We've celebrated their births, their courtships, their literal miles of baby announcements. We thought we knew the script. The pattern was set in stone. But what happens when someone decides to rip up that script entirely? This is the story of Johannah Duggar. And if you thought you knew what her next chapter would look like, you are in for the shock of your life. Because the news that just dropped isn't just another engagement announcement. It's a seismic shift. A statement. A twist that has the entire Duggarverse reeling, fans screaming into the internet void, and critics scrambling to rewrite their takes. I'm Olivia, and for the next, well, as long as it takes, we are diving deep. We're going to unpack every layer, every clue, every earth-shattering implication of Johannah Duggar's engagement. This isn't just gossip. This is a cultural moment. So, buckle up. Let's set the scene with precision. It was a Tuesday morning. Nothing special. The internet was doing its usual thing. And then, like a digital thunderclap, it appeared. Not on the family's official website first. Not in a glossy magazine exclusive. But on her personal, private Instagram account, an account many didn't even know she had. The photo. It's worth 1,000 words, but let me paint it for you. It's not in front of her family's sprawling Arkansas home. It's not a modest, knee-length dress. Johannah, Hanny, is standing on a rugged, windswept cliff edge, overlooking an ocean at sunset. Her hair, once always long and worn down, is in a chic, braided updo. She's wearing a stunning, deep emerald green dress that actually shows her shoulders. And she's laughing, head thrown back, with pure, unadulterated joy. Beside her, holding her hand, is not a boy from a well-known conservative family. He's a man named Aiden Carter, a 24-year-old landscape architect from Portland, Oregon. He has a sleeve of tattoos visible on his forearm. He's wearing jeans and a simple black t-shirt. And the look on his face as he gazes at her isn't just affection, it's awe. The caption was simple, yet it detonated a bomb. When you find the person who feels like the other half of your soul, you just say yes. Forever starts now. The internet flatlined for a second. Then it exploded. Comments flooded in. Is this real? Hanny Duggar? Shoulders. Portland. Tattoos. The family's official social media was silent for a full 6 hours. 6 hours. In the digital age, that's a lifetime. It spoke volumes. This wasn't a coordinated launch. This was Johannah taking control of her own narrative. To understand the magnitude of this, we have to rewind. For viewers who might be new to the Duggar universe, a quick primer. The Duggars rose to fame with 17 kids and counting, which became 19 kids and counting. They are evangelical Christians known for their strict adherence to the IBLP, Institute in Basic Life Principles, courtship over dating, modesty in dress, no pants for women, only skirts, no kissing before marriage, and a focus on large families and homeschooling. Johannah Duggar is child number 19, the 9th daughter. Born into a media circus, she was the baby for years before the last two, Jennifer and Jordan, came along. She grew up in the shadow of her older sister's very public courtships, engagements, and the massive scandal involving her brother Josh. Her entire life has been filmed, commented on, and dissected. But who is she? Not just Jana's younger sister or another Duggar girl. From the little we've seen, clues emerged. In recent years, as some of her older siblings began to quietly distance themselves or modify their beliefs, Johannah's social media presence, what little there was, showed subtle shifts. A photo where the hem of a pair of jeans was visible beneath a long skirt. A posted song lyric from a mainstream pop artist, not a gospel hymn. She completed her homeschooling, but then, unlike many siblings, enrolled in online courses for graphic design. She was often seen in the background of family photos with a thoughtful, observant expression, not just a performative smile. She was part of the lost middle, kids not old enough to have borne the brunt of the early fame, not young enough to be completely unknown. She was watching, learning, and perhaps planning. Okay, so a Duggar gets engaged. That's not news, that's a family tradition. But this is different. Let's break down the elements that make this a jaw-dropping departure. 1. The how, the personal Instagram reveal. This is arguably the biggest power move. For over a decade, the family brand has been tightly controlled. Announcements came from Jim, Bob, and Michelle or through the official family channels. For Johannah to bypass that entirely is a declaration of independence. It says, "This is my news, and I will share it." 2. The who, Aiden Carter. He is not from their world. He's not a fellow IBLP kid. He's a landscape architect from one of the most progressive cities in America. He's publicly visible on social media with photos of him hiking, at art galleries, and with friends of all genders. His Instagram before it went private showed a normal, secular, 20-something life. The tattoos alone are a visual symbol that screams divergence from the Duggar modesty standards. This isn't a courtship orchestrated by fathers. This looks and feels like a relationship she found and chose for herself. 3. The wear and the aesthetic, the cliffside photo. The shoulder-bearing dress. The professional, almost editorial quality of the photo. It's a world away from the living room sofa announcements or the modest garden settings of her older sisters. This is a photo that says adventure, worldliness, and personal style. 4. The language feels like the other half of your soul. This is romantic, poetic, emotional language. It focuses on a deep, personal connection. Contrast this with the more common Duggar engagement lexicon of seeking a helpmeet, God's plan, and following the principles. This is the language of modern, individualistic love. The reaction has been a tidal wave of conflicting emotions. The fans are split into 3 distinct camps. Camp Free Hanny, this group is ecstatic. They see this as a triumph, a breakout, a sign that the younger Duggar kids are finding their own paths. Comments are filled with, "You go, girl. She looks truly happy for the first time." This is the glow of someone living for themselves. Camp Heartbroken Traditionalists, these fans feel betrayed. They followed the family for their adherence to a specific lifestyle. To them, this is a rejection of those values. Their comments lament the loss of purity and fear for her spiritual path. Camp The Conspiracy Theorists, they're asking, is this a PR stunt? Is the show coming back? Is this a calculated move to stay relevant? Though, the family's radio silence makes this seem less likely. The family's reaction has been the loudest silence you've ever heard. After those 6 hours, a few siblings began to cautiously like the photo. A few, notably Jinger and Jill, who have themselves forged different paths, commented with heart emojis and "so happy for you." But the core family, Jim, Bob, Michelle, and the siblings still deeply embedded in the IBLP world have said nothing. No public congratulations. No reposts. Nothing. That silence is deafening, and it speaks to a potential deep rift. The brand implications. The Duggar brand was built on predictability and control. This shatters that illusion. It proves that the next generation is not a monolith. It raises huge questions about the future of any potential family media ventures. Can you market a perfect family image when one of its members is publicly living a very different perfect? Now, let's zoom out. Why does this matter to people who've never watched a single episode of the show? Because Johannah Duggar's story is becoming a modern archetype, the escape from the gilded cage. We've seen it with other reality TV dynasties, with political families, with any family that builds a powerful public brand. The children grow up in a fishbowl, under a microscope, following a strict script. And then, one day, one of them steps out of the frame. They don't just leave the show, they leave the entire narrative. Is this an escape? For many watching, it feels like one. It feels like a young woman claiming her agency in the most public way possible, through the story of her own heart. Is it evolution? Absolutely. It shows that belief systems are not always inherited wholesale. They are examined, questioned, and sometimes, parts are discarded. The journey from Johannah's childhood, wearing modest prairie dresses and following strict courtship rules, to a cliffside in a green dress with a tattooed fiancé is a visual map of that evolution. Or is it simply love? Could it be that at the end of all the analysis, this is just a story about two people who fell in love? The complication, of course, is that for someone like Johannah, choosing who to love is never just about love. It's a theological statement, a political statement, a rebellion, and an affirmation, all wrapped in one. It forces us to ask how much of our identity is truly ours, and how much is handed to us by our family, our faith, our community. And what does it cost to reclaim it? So, what's next? The speculation is running wild. The wedding. Will it be a massive, Duggar-style wedding at a church in Arkansas with 2,000 guests and all the siblings in the bridal party? Unlikely. Will it be a small, intimate ceremony on the Oregon coast with a few select family members and Aiden's friends? More probable. Will it even be televised or featured on a family social media post? That is the million-dollar question. Every detail, the dress, white? Straps, the venue, the officiant, the music will be scrutinized for clues. Family integration. Will Aiden be welcomed into the fold? Will he attend the big family gatherings? How will Jim, Bob, and Michelle introduce him? As our daughter's fiancé, or with more guarded language? Will the younger Duggar kids see Johannah's life as a forbidden path or a possible future? The ripple effect. This is perhaps the most crucial part. Johannah is not the youngest. There are still several unmarried Duggar children at home, Jennifer, Jordan, Josie, and the lost boys of the middle, like Jeremiah and Jason. They are all watching. They are all on social media. They have seen the explosion of support for Johannah. Her choice doesn't exist in a vacuum. It creates a new precedent within the family itself. It opens a door that was once firmly shut. Conclusion. The girl who rewrote her story. Let's return to that photo one last time. The wind in her hair, the sunset, the sheer, radiant joy on her face. That is not the face of someone following a script written for her. That is the face of someone writing her own lines. Johannah Duggar's shocking engagement is more than a tabloid headline. It's a cultural reset button for an entire family narrative. It's a testament to the quiet power of observation, the little sister who saw all the paths laid out before her and had the courage to blaze a new one. Is it a perfect fairy tale? Life is messy. Families are complicated. There will be challenges, difficult conversations, and perhaps painful separations. But for this moment, it feels like a victory. A victory for self-determination. For the idea that happiness can be defined on your own terms. The Duggar universe will never be the same. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most beautiful part of all. So, to Johannah and Aiden, your forever starts now. And a whole lot of us are watching, not in judgment, but in awe, wishing you nothing but genuine, cliffside sunset joy. I'm Olivia. Thank you for listening. What do you think? Is this a new beginning or the end of an era? Sound off in the comments. And if you want deep dives into the stories that actually matter, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.